Sorry, Lauryn, what you do is inconsiderate and wrong. That's really all it boils down to.
Hey, Lone said it, man.
Stop it.
I don't care who it is. Do right. Do better.
Just stop it.
Hey, man, if Jesus was doing this, I would have to have a conversation with him.
Be like, look, man, what you did with the 2 fish and bread was cool, but you know,
stop wasting my time.
You know, doors were at 7:30.
Did you see Lauryn Hill's speech about people should be grateful that she even shows up to these events and things of that nature? Did y'all peep that? Because she
should be grateful that people are showing up to the events to help her pay these bills.
I thought that, but apparently she sees it the other way around.
Hey, man. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Because she came on the stage and she's, you know, saying, y'all are saying she's late. She's late a lot. She says, y'all lucky I make it on this stage every night. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's basically preaching to the crowd saying, y'all lucky I'm out here. And she's talked about God and stuff that she's been going through. So I look at it from this standpoint. If you are a person that's dealing with an illness, or there's something that may alter you being able to show up on time, or you might have to cancel shows here because you're sick or something like that, that's one thing. But if you just late off GP every time you come to a performance, that ain't it. Like, there's no way to justify that.
Yeah, imagine calling your job every day and just being late and then just being like, y'all lucky I even come to some.
Hey, Jay, I know this bothered you when you saw this, because you've been open about Miss Hill and her lateness, and I see you shaking your head now, man. What were your thoughts on her speech?
You know, it's always, you know, it's a lack of accountability.
Okay.
That bothers me, you know, because if you have some issue to where, like, you physically have a hard time making it there, like, you know.
That's my point.
You know, there are people who are, you know, sick or crippled or something like that. Then it's one thing, but even they, like, factor in, you know, I got to go to the doctor, or I got to make sure I have my medication, and they still find a way to make it on stage. Thank
you.
You know, and don't bring God into your foolishness.
Thank you.
You know, that has nothing to do with why, you know, you're supposed to be on stage at 9:30 and you got there at 11:15 or whenever you decide to make it. And the thing is, in entertainment, especially in hip hop, we expect sometimes people are just going to be late. There are going to be things that are shuffled, but, like, this is what she is known for: showing up late, sometimes not even performing. Like, you know, I remember somebody told me, like, they're in the Bay Area sometime, and it was like, oh, Lauryn Hill, this is when she wasn't performing a lot. And she showed up there with, like, an acoustic guitar and read some poems and started crying. And it was like, if you were really that big of a fan of Lauryn Hill, it wouldn't have bothered you. But I was like, I paid good money for this. And the thing is, it's not like she's getting out there, you know, charging $15 a ticket and she's barely taking home anything. Like, Lauryn Hill by herself, it makes as much as $500,000, you know, a performance. You got to understand, especially with her fans at this point, considering she hasn't put out a record in well over 20 years. And those people have taken the ride with her. Like, these are people, you know, who are my age. They got jobs. They got kids. They got to get to soccer practice. They got to get up in the morning, you know, and you are taking those people who still are willing to support you, despite the fact that you haven't produced any art in a long time. I mean, you off here and there, maybe a verse on a Nas record or something,
which was fire.
No, yeah, we talked about
that record was fire.
But at the same time, it's like
late on that too.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you have to have respect for your audience.
Well, she made a tweet, and, you know, this was back prior to this speech, where she said she was dealing with some vocal strain, and that she, you know,
then cancel the show.
Thank you.
Well,
just can't
double-edged sword, because, you know, you cancel the show and you don't come, you don't show up. I mean, that's her thing though. So that affects people wanting to buy a ticket, because it's almost like I'm taking a gamble if she's even going to be here. I remember when she came here. That's the reason why I wasn't excited about going, because I didn't know if she's going to show up or not.
Yeah, she was only like an hour or something late.
Only like an hour.
That's modest for her.
Yeah, that's you know. And so, like, when she showed up on, like, it got to a point where, like, the DJ, he was trying to hide, and I was like, she's not coming. You know, or else, like, and it was a Tuesday night. I was like, at a certain point, I was like, well, I know I got to leave and get to work. I have too many friends who are artists. You know, they don't have the luxury of just being artists.
Right.
You know, they have a 9 to 5. They got something that they got going on. They got to maintain a household.
Yep.
You know, without the luxury of having nannies or cooks or a personal chef or anything like that. You know, and they're able to show up and put on a show, you know, service their audience and not insult them by saying you should be glad I even showed up here at all. That's probably the thing that bothered me.
Yeah, I think that's what bothered me is because.
Can you imagine if Jay-Z said something like that?
Jay would never
rap.
He would never say nothing like that. I think that's exactly what bothered me about her, the whole situation, because you can even have physical ailments or mental health or things like that are keeping you from going out there. But it's all about the delivery and how you're saying it. So I can go out on stage and be like, hey, y'all, I apologize. I be going through certain things that makes it hard for me to come out here some nights. That makes me tardy and I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You know what I'm saying? You got to thank these people. You even addressed, you've been touring, playing the same songs over and over and over. And she went on to blame that on people who didn't come to her for something else.
She said nobody came to her about a follow-up project.
Why would somebody have to come to you for a follow-up project?
I'm sorry, but I don't want to hear excuses about you being upset at people. Those people don't work at that record company anymore.
You're the one that penned that album.
You are
allegedly.
You're Lauryn Hill.
Yeah.
Where's the next Lauryn Hill?
Where's the next Lauryn? I heard Robert Glasper had some choice words about that album.
Well, he was very upset.
Yeah,
he was very upset.
But
that's probably part of the reason why there isn't a part 2.
It might be. But still, you can't blame that on other people when you had the album of the year. And it's an album of the year that actually held up, because, I mean, there's plenty of albums of the year that come and go and you never hear that album again. Her album, the quality of the album has held up since it came out. And that's on you for not being able to come up with something else. I mean, you could have dropped a flop after that. At least give it the whole college try.
And this
another time.
And this first one was still going to go. Even after the flop. It was still going to
go. And people would have still lined up and waited for you to drop another one.
Yeah.
I mean, because D'Angelo is one of those artists.
Yes.
But he at least gave you, 4 albums now at least? I mean, there was a lot of years in between a few of those albums.
But he did put out at least 3 or 4.
He still put out them albums, and he did a versus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A versus that really wasn't a versus, but, I mean, he's still out here.
And the thing is, it's like, look, man, once again, it goes back to, all of us have friends who are creatives. And like I said, they don't have the luxury of being able to spend their entire day or a month or a year creating. You were a member of the Fugees, you won all these Grammys, you were able to tour the world, make all this money. Even if you just worked on a song a year, you'd have been able to give us a couple albums by now.
We would have had almost a Jeezy released by now.
Yeah, and so I don't have that same. It's hard for me to empathize with somebody who really their only job. I mean, of course, being a mom and all that, and I'm not trying to dismiss that, but you can sit by the water and write songs and know that your bills are going to be paid. You be straight.
Yeah.
We all have friends who are like, man, I'd love to be writing songs right now, but I got to go ahead and make sure the lights stay on. So I got to do this for 8 hours a day. If I have a little bit of time in between taking care of my children and paying attention to my wife and maintaining a household, maybe I'll have 30 minutes or an hour to maybe get on the beat machine, play my guitar, or write songs. When you have the luxury of creating art at your leisure, and you're on here saying you should be lucky that I'm even on this stage at all, is a wildly ungrateful thing to say. And honestly, at this point, I'm never going to pay any money to see Lauryn Hill. For you could give me a ticket to the show and I'm not going.
You going?
I'm gonna go.
Who else is gonna be there?
I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna go. At least you might
give me one.
I'm at a point in my life where my time.
I'm going.
My time is just worth so much more than that.
I can dig it.
And I'm not going to see someone who says I should be grateful that they even show. You should be grateful there are still people willing to come see you, and you
bring
have
some
put
tomatoes
out.
with you.
You haven't. Look,
so
I
if she even fix her mouth to say something like that.
Look, I saw those people clapping, and I'd have booed her just like I'd booed. I would boo Ice Spice.
The crowd was gassing her up. Now they was out there. You thought she was in church the way they was clapping every time she was talking.
And somebody was trying to stop her. Did you see the
I saw that
lady on stage?
She was trying her best
to pull her away. Like, come on now, this ain't the place.
To your point about the people that we know and the creatives, I was just talking to one of the homies this morning. He had just flown out to LA to perform, and he was like, man, I barely got any sleep, man. I was rehearsing. As soon as I got in town, we rehearsed for this, we rehearsed for that. I had to perform at 11 o'clock the following night. We were out there 2 days before, practicing and running through the set and coming up with a set. I didn't even sleep for X amount of hours. They still showed up on time.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's It's just common decency. It's courtesy. You know what I'm saying? It's accountability, to your point. Because we always talk about artists don't technically owe us anything, or certain artists have done enough where they can just do whatever. But actually performing and showing up to a show on time, you owe that. You owe that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's just a part of it. You should be able to show up.
And I understand, like, if you know, something travel-wise, you know,
that
bus
happens.
got stuck in Buffalo because it was, you know, it was snowing and a plane got you know, stuff like that. I get it.
Man.
But, like, when you just don't show up, like you stay in the hotel too long talking to people or whatever, there's just a lot of dumb reasons why artists feel like they can show up late. And it's like somewhere along the line, as an audience and as ticket buying folks, we got to be like, no, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah, you gotta show up and show out. I remember this was a concert in where was this? Cincinnati, when they do the summer concert, the Jazz Fest or whatever.
Yep.
Usher was probably about an hour late, maybe an hour and a half.
He was a headliner.
He was a headliner. As soon as he hit the stage, though, he got busy. You know, and I think it had something to do with his travel and things of that nature. But it wasn't like I'm about to get out here and show my ass by saying y'all should be happy I'm even here. He got up there and went to work. You know what I'm saying? You see where that's led him, because that's his work ethic. So now he's in Vegas. Now he's performing at the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? He's an artist. So you're supposed to get up there and show your artistry when somebody pays to come see you.
I can respect the artist that's, to Terry's point, if you're late, if you're behind, and you just come out on the stage and like, let's get to it. That's, to me, you're telling me my fault, y'all. Let's go ahead and get busy. That's the way I take it as a consumer.
But and you can't be you ought to be lucky that I came out.
And plus, Lauryn Hill's show at this point isn't good enough to where she can get up there and tell people you should be honored that I even showed up here at all.
That's wild.
We're gonna get you a ticket.
No, like I said, I'm literally.
You gonna flip the ticket?
No, I'd sell it to somebody.
Oh, man.
I'm not going.
But you've seen her before, though.
I've seen her before, and that was enough. And like for her, that was kind of attitude, like things like that.
What a prize with her.
Why is anybody enthused about that?
Yeah,
Long Mike.
Why? You know he doesn't care.
I know. Look, He's trying not to say it right now.
She is perpetually disrespecting her fan base that has ridden with her for over 20 years. There's no. She needs to sit down. Is what she needs to do. It's disrespectful to me, and I'm not even a fan.
Right.
Like to have the audacity to say you're lucky. Like people that paid money to go see somebody. Take away the artistry, and who cares what she's going through? I don't care. I don't care what you're going through.
We know long.
We do.
But it doesn't matter. No, like I don't. When it becomes a pattern, and yes, sure, but people that are going to buy tickets, yes. Do I think that they should complain that she doesn't show up on time? Nah, because at this point that's what she's going to do.
Yep.
But at the same time, like she is constantly disrespecting her fan base.
Her own fan base.
Constantly.
Yeah.
And like to have the audacity, to what Terry said, to what you said as well, Jay, like to have the audacity to kind of put the onus on the other person, like how dare you?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like sit down. Like what kind of arrogance is that?
Like, you don't feel like
that is extremely arrogant.
Don't get up. Don't say, I can't do it tonight. And tell people that in enough time to where they can make other plans.
Or at least have bingo cards at every show that everybody can guess what time she's going to come, and the closest person get something.
And more importantly, do it in a respectable manner where they can get refunds for the tickets if you're not going to show up.
You're wasting. I mean, maybe I'm sensitive to people wasting my time. So it's like, to Jay's point, it's just like you are like disrespecting people's time. It's not even if they can get their money back, you're wasting time, and that's the one thing that I don't do.
You know, and look, and like I said, of course, on a much smaller level. I just remember I had a few years ago had something very tragic to me happen on Wednesday going into Thursday. And then basically I was a mess the whole day, but I was like, it was already promoted that I was going to be somewhere that Thursday night. And the thing is, that probably wasn't the best thing for me. I probably should have been like, hey, I can't make it, guys. I'm sorry. But in my mind, it was like, hey, it was announced I was going to be here. I'm going to do this. You know, I know they're paying me to do it, and then the show must go on.
Yeah.
You know, and so
a similar situation.
Yeah. And so it's like, man, I'm sorry. I look, if people go through things, you know, either tell them you can't do it, don't show up at all, but don't get on stage and say you're. Even if you should, I would never have gotten on stage that night and said, "Man, I've been going through it. You're lucky that I'm here."
But even if you did, that would be reasonable in my. It's the fact that she's made a career out of this.
Yeah.
Career.
Like. This is like if something happened to her and this was the first time, she's like, man, y'all lucky I even showed up. I can at least be like, oh man, she went through some stuff. But the fact that this has been happening consistently for over a decade,
to be 2 decades,
that's what I mean. Like,
to be indignant
just
about it.
shut up and sit down. Like, I mean,
have some couth.
Telling you to sit down. But I mean, no, it's arrogance, man.
That ain't right, Lauren. It just ain't right.
Yeah, I'm a huge Lauryn Hill fan, but this ain't it.
And
this
the people
is
who clap for what you said, those people,
those
people
marks.
are losers. Yeah, I don't know what, you know. Nobody. I'm not that big enough of a fan to excuse such poor behavior.
Nah, right is right, man, and wrong is wrong, and she's wrong in this instance.
But if you still want to support her, good for you.
Yeah, go to the show if you want to go, but
yeah, hopefully you don't have anything to do the next day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because you're definitely gonna be there for about 6 to 8 hours.
You're gonna be there for a while. Your feet are gonna hurt.
Take a flask with you.
You know
that'll help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's that would be the only way. If you gave me a free ticket to Lauryn Hill and I had the day off the next day, then maybe I'd consider it.
Plus a flask.
I mean, well, you know, I'm gonna do what I got to do, man. Just saying.
It's like Dave Chappelle said, man. Don't tell me how to get to Sesame Street. I wouldn't go if I knew the way.
Well, I was gonna say shout out to Lauryn Hill, but no, she don't deserve that. Do better is what I'm gonna say.
Just do better. That's all it is. Just do better. You have plenty of time to do better.
Think about all the other creators you know that go out of their way to make sure that people, you know, get their money's worth. Who honestly, who are you and what have you accomplished to where you can be this arrogant? It'd be one thing.
It doesn't matter who you are or what you do.
It don't matter.
It doesn't even matter.
Think about Prince didn't do stuff like this.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if anybody has done it in the history of the world. Like this is
just
the
bad
level of arrogance
in
is just it's just bad.
This is bad across the board.
Because at the end of the day, you know, it's not like
if Michael Jackson came out. God rest his soul. If he came out and was like,
he's also
y'all
wrong.
Should be lucky I'll be here.
You can't be wild for that. You cannot be known for that. I mean, I've seen Jay-Z multiple times. I actually bought a ticket to the Jay-Z's Unfinished Business Tour with R. Kelly, which was canceled before it made it here. But I've seen him multiple times. That wasn't his mantra or whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's not what he built his career off of, just being late and canceling shows. It happened to be with R. Kelly, and R. Kelly was kind of hard to work with at the time, so they had to cancel the tour. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it wasn't something that I got this tour coming and I'm canceling it every time. Imagine your artist being known for that.
This is the thing, man.
That's unacceptable, man.
At the end of the day, as an artist, this is for Lauryn Hill, Jay-Z, Nas,
anybody.
Whoever. You're not curing cancer.
No.
All right?
Even if you are.
You're not curing. I'm
going to give you a pass on that.
What you do is not so very important in the grand scheme of the world that you should have this kind of entitlement.
It's just the entitlement aspect. I just don't do that.
Yeah.
I just don't do that. I don't care who you are.
It ain't right.
She's coming off 100% arrogant and entitled.
Yeah.
And then she turned it into crocodile tears.
Yeah.
Don't bring
and
Jesus
mentioned a whole bunch of stuff that ain't have nothing to do with you.
I say it all the time in the comments. Go to therapy. I know it sounds like I'm being very angry towards Lauryn Hill, who happens to be a woman who happens to be black, but I would say this to anybody.
Yeah, if you're going through it, yeah, man, go to therapy.
Therapy's good. Continue.
You know,
ask Charlamagne.
There are people.
You know, Charlamagne gonna tell you 100 times on his show.
There are people who I know have become better individuals, better parents, better artists, because they've gone to therapy. You know,
but she's got to get the money, I guess. I don't know what else she's doing. What else is Lauryn doing?
I mean, she really ain't got to do nothing else.
At this point, yeah.
I mean, if she's making $500,000 a show that she shows up late to, I mean.
Wonder, talk about being in an awkward position as the venue. Have to deal with this constantly and be
they probably got some kind of insurance.
I was about to say there has to be a clause or something. Like if you come in here 6 hours late, fam, we might give you $100 till you go on your way. You know what I'm saying? Like, and get on up out of here. There's no way I would book her as a venue without some type of clause. There's no way. You're not about to play me and get $500,000.
That's in the contract somewhere.
Has to be. And it's a specific clause for her. And
it might be something that she might have to pay the venue.
Yeah. There's no way you about to scam me for $500,000.
It's like you get your deposit and then like you may not get any more of the money if you show up. Because then once again, a lot of these are union shows. So you have to be considerate of the people who are actually working in these venues because you go into overtime. That eats into their, and then it eats into your band's money. You know what I'm saying? Because then you're going to get yours, but then like what they can pay you, those fees come out of the performance. In a lot of cases, come out of the performers' pay. But then they pass that on to not paying the band. So like this, she's just sorry, Lauren. What you do is inconsiderate and wrong. That's really all it boils down to.
Hey, Lone said it, man.
Stop it.
I don't care who it is. Do right. Do better.
Just stop it.
Hey, man. If Jesus was doing this, I would have to have a conversation with him.
Be like, look, man, what you did with the 2 fish and bread was cool, but
stop wasting my time.
Doors were at 7:30.
I know you've been walking
Show
on
was
water.
supposed to start at 9.
Man, I know you've been walking on water.
Get here till 11:15. You know what I'm saying? We got you. This is a union show.
If this is the route you want to go, I don't know if I can follow you anymore.
He said,
blessing, folks.
He said doors were at 7:30. Hey, yo, maybe this is just it may be a rock thing. It may be a folk or festival thing, but with hip hop, doors never means anything. I never take any. I don't care what the flyer says. I don't care about none of that because I know it's going to be an hour and a half later before anybody hits.
But
the
that's
stage.
standard.
It depends where you go.
Is that standard?
Go to Treese.
Well, like I said,
everything's on time.
Well, that's
every year.
That's different. Yeah.
You got me there.
But like when I go to a show, but I know that okay. We all know the doors doesn't mean okay. As soon as they open the doors, we're gonna start.
We know that, but I'm just saying. Sometimes you'll see doors open at 7:30, show starts at 9, and it still don't start to 10:30.
Got a little bit of buffer time.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, I'm not saying this is exclusive to Lauryn Hill, but she's the only artist who'll get on stage and say something as crazy as you're lucky.
Hey, if you out here doing what she doing, you whack. So. It's unacceptable.
But hope it gets better for you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Whatever she's going through.
Take a deck of cards and a bowling chair or something next time you go. Y'all play something, spades, get you a table or something, because it's going to be a while.
Look, whatever she's going through to where like she thinks this is acceptable, once again, I hope she is able to work through it and realize, hey, I'm wrong.
Man, she needs to sit down with Oprah.
Sit down with who?
Oprah.
Nah, she'd be late to that too.
Been not playing with Oprah time.
Yeah, you don't play with Oprah. You don't play with that kind of.
Yeah, you get to sit down with Oprah.
You got some problems now.
Come on,
you mess around. Don't play. You play with Oprah.
That's the last person you want to show up late to. Not Oprah long. She'll be there on time for Oprah.
Because all these years she had to fight.
Keep going.
That's it.
Okay.
All right.
Yo, man.
She
and
ain't
that's not
taking
funny. It's not funny.
She ain't gonna take it.
The part is not funny, but that he's still.
She ain't gonna have it.
Yo, what's up with you, man? That's a dramatic scene, man.
Hey, man.
Oh, my goodness.
We literally just had this conversation about there's certain parts of movies that shouldn't be funny, but unfortunately are.
Yeah, that's definitely one of them. Yeah, that's. He was going through it, though, man.
All my life, I had to fight.
Color Purple, right?
Good job, Lone. I know you knew. We knew you knew that
Crocodile
one.
tears involved.
Oh
right?
my God, man.
We just set them up for a movie promo for the Christmas season.
Yeah, the criminal version.
I'm not going.
Yeah, that and we was talking about
No, because Lauryn Hill's in it. Sorry.
Well, it wouldn't come out on Christmas. Yeah, it wouldn't come out criminal.
Yeah,
that might come out in August of next year.
Yeah, Santa Claus always on time.
Yeah.